The call came at 9:12 a.m., 3 hours before the party. My son was in the kitchen, still in his apron, still smiling. He thought today mattered, thought his effort meant something. I answered without looking at the caller ID. I shouldn't have. My mother-in-law's voice slithered through the speaker. "We've decided to celebrate on our private yacht instead." A pause. "You and your daughter are not allowed there." No hesitation, no apology, just finality. I looked through the kitchen doorway. My son was carefully plating shrimp skewers. He'd spent 2 weeks on the menu, sourced ingredients, practiced plating like it was sacred. 16 years old and more of a man than the woman who birthed him ever bothered to notice. I didn't flinch, didn't shout, didn't even ask why. I just said, "Understood," and ended the call. Then I turned and watched my son drizzle the last sauce with surgical focus. He didn't hear the call, but 12 hours later, he'd hear the silence that followed. They'd been drifting for months. The smiles got thinner, the excuses longer, the late-night meetings more frequent. But betrayal isn't a bomb. It's a slow leak. You smell it before it kills. I started noticing things: her phone face down, her sudden allergy to eye contact, her avoidance of our daughter's recitals, and then the yacht invitation, a gift from her mother's new boyfriend, a boyfriend who also just happened to be a business partner in her wellness startup. They stopped hiding it because they assumed I wouldn't do anything, because they thought I was too soft, too patient, too predictable. They forgot I was still watching, still listening, still here. I didn't confront her, not right away. I took the long way through her lies. First, I checked her calendar, cross-referenced with private GPS tracking I installed months ago, hidden in her keychain gift. Every board meeting matched perfectly with locations tied to her mother's boyfriend. Hotel receipts, restaurant tabs, 2 spa appointments booked under aliases, hers and his. I ran their business filings, shell corporations, one owned by her, the other by him, interconnected, all funded through accounts traced back to our joint savings. She'd funneled our money to build a life without us. And the yacht? Registered under a holding company owned by him, but co-signed by her mother. It wasn't just a betrayal, it was a quiet exile. She wasn't just moving on, she was removing us. Me and my daughter were excess baggage. My son? A forgotten footnote. She came back the next day, sun-kissed, drunk on salt air and champagne, wearing a white dress that didn't belong to a mother. I was in the study, alone. She tried to act surprised. "Why didn't you come?" I slid the folder across the desk. Receipts, GPS logs, bank transfers, IP addresses, all of it. She looked through it slowly, page by page. I said nothing. She opened her mouth, probably to lie, then she saw the last page. Custody petition. Already signed, already filed. Emergency hearing granted, based on her abandonment of our daughter. Her voice cracked. "You can't." I stood, walked past her, paused just long enough to whisper, "You threw us away for a party on water. Now watch what sinks." That night, I hosted the party anyway. Not at home, not in the shadow of her absence. At the community center. I called every guest, told them the location changed last minute. I didn't mention the yacht, or the ban. I just said, "My son cooked. He deserves a room full of applause." 30 people showed. Not a single one asked where she was. He got a standing ovation, even cried a little when the mayor praised his ravioli. Meanwhile, her yacht's Wi-Fi lit up with missed calls, notifications. 12 hours after the banished party, their phones began ringing. Every friend, every guest, every vendor, asking why the party was moved, asking why she didn't invite them, asking why they were made fools. I didn't sabotage the yacht. I just deleted it, socially, publicly, She built a kingdom of optics. I turned it to smoke. My son never asked where she was. He didn't need to. That night, as I tucked in my daughter, I realized something. I wasn't heartbroken. I wasn't even angry anymore. Because for the first time in years, the house was quiet. Not empty, just peaceful. I walked past the untouched cake she'd ordered for herself. The name on it smeared, melting under the weight of its own ego. I turned off the lights and whispered, "Happy birthday. You're finally alone."